Hey everyone, today we are tackling one of the most powerful weather events on the entire planet, the Indian monsoon. And believe me, this is way more than just a weather report. This is a force that shapes the land, the seasons, and yeah, the lives of over 1 billion people.
So, let's just jump right in with a really weird question, a kind of puzzle. If you just look at where India is on a map and think about the big global wind patterns, you have to ask yourself, why isn't India a giant desert?
I mean, seriously, check this out. India is sitting right in the path of these things called the northeasterly trade winds. Now, these winds start over land, they blow over land, and they have very, very little moisture. So logically, this whole part of the world should be dry, really dry. But it's not. So what's going on?
Okay, to solve this mystery, we first need to grab our tools. We need to understand the basic things that control the climate anywhere on Earth. Let's think of them as the puzzle pieces.
So here are the big 6. First, you've got latitude. That's just how far you are from the equator. Then altitude, how high up you are. Number 3, and this one's a biggie for us, is the pressure and wind system. Then there's distance from the sea, ocean currents, and finally relief features, mountains and stuff. Every single one of these plays a part in the story we're about to tell.
All right, we've got our puzzle pieces. Now we can finally put it all together and solve the riddle of India's climate. And the whole thing, the entire solution, hinges on one of the most dramatic events in all of meteorology, a complete 180-degree flip in the winds.
And that massive flip has a name we all know, the monsoon. Fun fact, the word itself actually comes from the Arabic musim, which just means season. And here's the absolute key to understanding this. The monsoon isn't really the rain. The rain is the result. At its heart, the monsoon is the seasonal reversal of the wind. That's the whole game.
And here is exactly how that flip works. In the winter, the gigantic Asian landmass gets incredibly cold. This creates a powerful high-pressure system that literally pushes cold, dry winds out from the land to the ocean. But then summer comes. The land heats up like an oven, creating a massive zone of low pressure. This thing acts like a giant vacuum cleaner, sucking in all that wet, moisture-packed air from the high-pressure zone over the cooler ocean. And that complete reversal is the answer to our puzzle.
Now, this massive wind reversal does way more than just bring rain. It creates this powerful, predictable rhythm that defines the entire year, splitting it into 4 totally distinct seasons.
So, the year in India is really just the 4 acts of the monsoon story. You start with the nice, cool, dry part, the cold weather season. Then comes the build-up, the intense hot weather season. Then the main event arrives, the advancing monsoon. And finally, you get the transition out, the retreating monsoon. Let's walk through it.
Before the relief of the rain, you have to get through the fire. The hot weather season, from March to May, is just a period of intense building heat. As the sun moves north, parts of northwestern India will regularly hit a blistering 45 degrees Celsius. And remember, it's this very heat that's creating that critical low-pressure system we talked about.
And this crazy heat creates its own weather. A really famous feature of this season is the loo. Now, these are not just some warm breezes, okay? We're talking strong, gusty, scorching hot, and dangerously dry winds that just sweep across the northern plains all day long.
Then, finally, usually around early June, the pressure difference gets so big that the whole system snaps. The advancing monsoon begins. The winds do a complete reversal, coming from the southwest, and after traveling all the way over the warm Indian Ocean, they are just loaded with moisture. They sweep across the country and bring a total, dramatic change to the weather.
And the amount of rain can be just staggering. I mean, in places like Mazinram, tucked into the hills of Meghalaya, the yearly average is over 400 centimeters. That makes it literally one of the wettest places on the entire planet.
But, and this is what makes the monsoon so fascinating, it's also a story of insane contrast. In the very same country, during the very same season, you'll have places like Ladakh or western Rajasthan that get less than 10 centimeters of rain. It's an incredible display of how local geography, like mountains, can totally change the game for this massive weather system.
The monsoon is also famously tricky. It's not just 4 months of non-stop downpour. It's known for having these breaks. You'll get periods of intense rain and then suddenly a dry spell. It all has to do with this low-pressure zone, the monsoon trough, kind of shifting and wobbling around over the plains, which makes the whole season incredibly unpredictable.
After the rainy season, the system starts to reverse itself all over again.
During this retreating monsoon phase in October and November, the winds get weaker and start to withdraw, and this period is known for clear skies. But because the ground is still wet and the daytime temps are still high, you get this famously muggy, oppressive condition that everyone calls October heat.
So, as you can probably tell by now, the monsoon is so much more than a weather pattern. It's not just rain and wind. It's the very pulse of the subcontinent. It's a force that creates this really deep, unifying bond.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is the crucial point. The monsoon sets the rhythm for the seasons that all life revolves around. It binds the entire country together by providing the water that agriculture depends on. The whole agricultural calendar, the festivals people celebrate, the very pace of life, it's all shaped by this one phenomenon. And that is why, year after year, people from every single part of the country are eagerly, anxiously waiting for it to arrive.
But that unifying bond is also a source of incredible anxiety. The monsoon is both a creator and a destroyer. It brings the life-giving rains, absolutely, but it also brings devastating floods and crippling droughts. Which leaves us with a final, really big question to think about. How does a nation build its future on such a powerful and deeply uncertain foundation?